I should have taken the blackout as a sign. All that and more right here on the Milkman podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Milkman podcast. Oh boy, what a game. I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll just jump straight into it as we normally do. And we'll talk about the 40-12 loss that the Canberra Raiders put me through the day after. We'll get into... Actually, no, you know what? I'll talk about it now. When was the game? Sunday night. We had a blackout in my area. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm watching the game tomorrow. I should have taken it as a sign to just not watch it at all. I should have just looked at the score. But, you know, I was going to show these later, but I'll show them now. This is some of the things that people were saying. The Green Machine pod in response to me saying, right, currently dealing with a blackout. We'll be watching the game on serious delay. Could be later tonight, could be tomorrow morning. Either way, up the milk. Green Machine Podcast on Twitter replied saying, don't do it tonight, my friend. Don't do it to yourself. So I quote tweeted that and said, you know, this is worrying. Watching the game now. And then Space Party 66 replied, Godspeed. So that's pretty much how I knew that the game wouldn't go our way. And how surprised I was when I saw how poor that performance really was. But, you know, let's talk about it. It was nightmare fuel. It just was. I don't even know what to say apart from that. Ruben Garrick went off, absolute legacy game, and I'll go through the tries and all the stats later, as I normally do here on the preview show. The review show. My apologies. The review show. He's a new dad. Ruben Garrick. They said it on the broadcast many times. I'm sure you heard it, and fair enough that they did mention it so many times. It's a big thing. He got a total of 4 tries, I think. Again, we'll get into that in a minute. So as a new dad, he's got a baby girl, I think they said. Could be wrong there. Again, this is a Canberra Raiders podcast, not so much a Manly one. So I didn't really pay much attention to that. Maybe I should have. I don't know. But he's also a dad to the Canberra Raiders, apparently. Holy smokes, did he just was all over us, really, and he was really disciplining us like we were his sons. So we were his sons. Morgan Smithies failed his HIA, which means he will miss the next 11 days of action, which means he will subsequently miss out on the Cowboys game. But we'll talk more about that later on. But to make that fizzle out a little bit, and make us feel a little bit about it. And we'll talk about the team list in a minute. But we do get Tarpany back this week. He's back after his suspension. He's done his dues. He's done his time, and he's back now. So that's really good news. We've got our captain back. Brilliant. It's a step in the right direction against a very poor Cowboys side. But again, we'll talk more about that on Friday. There's a few bits and pieces about that today, so bear with me there. We held up well, to be fair. I was watching it, I was like, what are they talking about? We're playing really well in that first 20 to 25 minutes. We were playing really well. We had a try taken off us, which wasn't the best. I think Seb Chris got over the stripe and they took it away. Can't remember why, but still, we played pretty well, and I was proud of it in that first 25 minutes. And then the floodgates opened because Corey Horsburgh got done for something. I still don't know what the call was there or why he went to the sin bin, but he did at around 21 minutes. So I've got no idea what happened there. But we did look good, and then he went to the sin bin, and then it sort of deflated. The energy sort of got sucked out of us. We looked defeated. We looked helpless. And it all went downhill from there. And 30-0 halftime score and 40-12. So we did outscore him in the second half, 10-12. Silver lining. But yeah, we just fell apart like a pork rib off the bone. It was just not good viewing. And my mate even messaged me. I'll if I can find it, I'll read it out to you, because I posted on Milkman Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you're following over there. And he sent me that and said, and I quote, bear with me here. Should have had this ready. And I quote, "Sucks you had to sit through that, mate." And I said, "I have a headache." And I sent a thumbs up, because I did. I had a thumping headache. It was not fun. It was just so crap. It was so crap, especially like watching it on delay. Like I'll be honest, second half, when it clicked over to 40, I sort of skipped forward a little bit. And on KO, they have the key moments tab. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just look at that. One try. Because Seb Chris got over the stripe, and I was like, oh, there's one try left. Who scored it? Hudson Young. So I didn't really watch it. That second half, after, when Seb Chris crossed the stripe, I sort of went, okay, I've got no interest now. If it was live, I wouldn't have turned it off, obviously, but because it wasn't live and all those signs that I spoke about earlier pointing towards us losing, I sort of went, well, they've got 40 now and Seb Chris has just crossed the stripe. Surely nothing worse happens. No, Hudson Young crossed the stripe, but that was about it. Was a good game. Not in its entirety. I shouldn't have stopped there. Seb Chris, Hudson Young, Tom Starling played good games. Could be missing someone, but I feel like we all looked crap apart from those three. Starling played really well. I really liked his game. But at the end of the day, we just didn't want it. That's one thing. Like when Horsburgh went to the bin, it just looked like, oh, well, game's over. Is he that important to the team? Clearly. I mean, we better hope he doesn't get a suspension. Otherwise, we'll go on a losing streak. So we've just got to turn it around before the Cowboys game this weekend, because that would be embarrassing. Manly, losing to Manly 40-12 doesn't make me feel that bad. Like, it sucks. But Manly, and we'll talk about this later, Manly fans have it worse than us at the moment. And how things can change in rugby league, not even 24 hours later or something like that. It was crazy, but we'll talk about that later. You know what I'm talking about. Silver lining. Two things that I found silver lining. We outscored them in the second half, like I said, and we didn't let them get 50. So if you don't know the stat, if you let a team get 50 points on you, you cannot win the grand final. You will not even make the grand final, I'm pretty sure. That's a stat that goes around. No team has ever won the grand final that has let a team get 50 points on them during that year. So we stopped that from happening. So we're still on for the grand final. Make sure your September plans are clear. Sorry, I can't speak. October. I get confused. I live in an AFL state. Leave me alone. But when it rains, it pours. So we're getting the tries now, and we'll start with Manly just so that one makes sense. Garrick at 22, Bullymore at 27, Bullimore at 29, Simpkin at 32, and then Garrick at 37, 48, and 51. You got 4 tries and 6 out of 7 conversions. Could you have imagined that he went 7 for 7? That would be a perfect game for Ruben Garrick. I wish I had his other stats, but I just thought, no, I'm not getting too much into Manly today because, again, we lost, and I'm not a Manly podcast. But after that win, I kind of wish I was, because that would have been great for Manly fans. But then again, if I was a Manly fan, I would have had to deal with what I'm going to talk about a bit later, and you already know what I'm going to talk about. Seb Chris at 63. Hudson Young at 77, and Fogarty went 2 for 2 on conversions. Silver lining again. Some stats for you. We had 36% of the possession, which that feels really generous. It feels like they had way more than that. 67% completion rate, and that's 19 out of 28. Not good enough. I'm sure Ricky Stewart will really get into them for that. 139 runs, 1,142 meters, 399 of those post-contact. 3 line breaks, 24 tackle breaks, 13 offloads, 88.84% tackle efficiency compared to their 83.15. That's pretty good. But then again, they had way more of the ball that we did have to make. 406 tackles, and we missed 38 of them. 0 intercepts, 12 errors compared to their 6, which isn't fantastic really, is it? And then 1 sin bin, which was Horsburgh at 21, as I did discuss. Now, the Milkman player of the game, can I give it to no one? No, I can't. It's Hudson Young. Has to be, really, doesn't it? 106 meters, 42 of those were post-contact, 1 try, 1 line break, 3 tackle breaks, 10 hit-ups, 2 offloads, 91.11% tackle efficiency, 41 made, 4 missed. So we did pretty well. I saw a lot of people give it to Seb Chris as well, which would have been fair, but I thought Hudson Young played well, and I thought I'd give him his flowers because he played phenomenal in that game. Tom Starling as well, like I said. But, of course, I'd bring Tom Starling into the conversation. So there's your Milkman player of the game. And I wish I could give it to no one. And we'll leave it at that for the Manly game because I really just want to set and forget. I don't want to talk about it anymore, especially since I had an out. I could have just not watched it. I could have just looked at the score after what people were saying on Twitter because I saw those tweets straight away because I've got my notifications on, especially this one here from the Green Machine podcast. Don't do it to yourself, my friend. Don't do it. And it's kind of like, oh, that's not good. Unless it's like a joke that we're smashing them so much that everyone's going to be sarcastic and everyone understands. But I thought once, maybe it's sarcastic, but it happens a second time with this comment from Ali, Godspeed. Like I said, that's just, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. What I don't know is let's head to the milk bar. This one, I'm just not over it is my problem, but it could be worse. It could be a Manly fan after today because, again, we'll get into that later. So the team list for the Cowboys was released earlier today. Fullback, Ko Weeks, Tamale and Savage on the wings. Tamale and Savage, how good. Tomoko and Chris in the centres. Strange and Fogarty are the halves. Then we've got Papali'i, Starling, Tarpany back in the side. Come on. Hudson Young, Matty Nicholson, Corey Horsburgh, and then on the interchange we've got Paddy, Sasagi, Mooney, Mariota, and then the emergencies, Jed Stewart, Danny Leverlett, Pasami Solo, Albert Hopewade, and Albert Cook. So there you go. And like I said, because of a failed HIA, failed HIA, Morgan Smithies will miss the Cowboys clash. He'll miss the 11 days of action. He'll be back after the Cowboys game. So he's got a week off, essentially. Tarpany returning, huge. Makes that loss of Smithies feel a bit better. Again, you don't want to see people injured, especially off a failed HIA with concussion. But, again, you got to look at the positive sometimes, and Tarpany coming back is huge inclusion for the Canberra Raiders. So that is very good. Ricky Stewart is being investigated by the NRL for press conference comments. He said, and I think this is what got him in trouble, and I quote, "I'm not allowed to talk about the ref, but I hope Andrew Abdo has an answer for us all." Yikes. He also had another comment I thought was interesting that could have done him some bad as well. He said, and I quote, "It's really difficult coaching when you don't know the rules. You don't know interpretations because I've got no idea." So, yeah, he's going to be in trouble. I remember in an early episode I said, hopefully he can keep some money in his pocket. I don't think this rule will ever stop Ricky Stewart from saying what he feels. And I feel it too, Ricky. Don't worry about it, mate. I'll say it for you if you like. If you ever need something said for you, reach out to me, mate. I'll say it on your behalf, but I won't say it's from you. I'll just say it, and then you can do with it what you will. Now, big news, especially for me. I'm loving this. Let me find it. Excuse me. Here it is. Tom Starling wants to stay a Raider, but his management and the club are yet to open negotiations. Tom Starling wants to stay. That's the reports. They might not be true. Apparently, he admitted it. That's what I heard. I didn't see that. I haven't seen anything of it. That's all I know, that he wants to stay a Raider. Good news for me, but what does that mean for the future of the Canberra Raiders? With Owen Paddy, he's coming up. He looks good. From what I've seen so far, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Owen Paddy, especially that game in Vegas. Came on and just made tackles. Just kept going. Just kept making tackles. Love it. Obviously, with Danny Levi, I'm suspecting we're going to let him go, and then bringing in Jaden Brayley. It'll be interesting to see what we do there. So I'm hoping that we keep Starling. That's the main thing, and obviously you got to suspect that the starting job. Excuse me. Don't know what's going on here. The starting job will either be Brayley or Starling. I'd give it to Starling and get Brayley off the bench in the 14 and then let Paddy have a run around in the New South Wales Cup again. I don't know if Paddy will like that very much, and more importantly, I don't know if Brayley will like that very much. Again, I believe this is not like reported upon or anything that I know of. What I believe is that we've sort of said to Jalen, and I've said this on the podcast before, we sort of said to Jalen Brayley, you'll get the starting job if you sign with us. 2 years, how's that? You get some starting reps, and then Starling comes off the bench. Again, he's done that before, and he's made a great impact for the Canberra Raiders, Tom Starling. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I would start Tom Starling from what I've seen so far this season as our starting hooker. He's been unbelievable. But then again, I might be biased because if you listen to the podcast regularly, if you watch the podcast regularly, either way, you'd know that I absolutely love Tom Starling. So again, I might have my Tom Starling tinted glasses on. Who knows? So let's get out of the milk bar before things get a little too strange. And let's go to the Jersey Flegg and New South Wales Cup review. So both teams played the Manly Sea Eagles, and the Jersey Flegg boys got the 44-18 win, and the New South Wales Cup boys got handed a loss at 28 to 26. So 1 for 3 on the day at 4 Pines Park. I'll try and get some stats for you. It's pretty hard to find for some reason. Maybe it's just the Raiders app being strange. I don't know. But I'll try and find some stats for you. I probably should have had them up already, but I don't. You know how it is here. We go straight off the cup. So we'll start with Jersey Flegg, which tends to be the more difficult way to go. Player stats. So most tackles, 48, Malachi Smith. Most run meters, 156 for Terrell Theavai. Probably said that completely wrong. That's how it goes. Most line breaks, 2, Patrick Bro, and no one cares about fantasy. We had 47% of the possession, 69% completion rate. That's nice, but it isn't good, is it? And I won't tell you who's got the tries because I don't know why. But it's a big win, 44-18. Drops us to second, unfortunately, in the Jersey Flegg ladder off of points for and against. So fantastic, isn't it? And then the New South Wales Cup boys getting the 28-26 loss. Very unfortunate. I'll try and get some stats for you in that one as well. Excuse me. I'm just going to try and find it. 68% of completion. Same as Manly in that game. 47% of possession. I get the full player stats here. So leader in tries was Asuma again. He's been playing great in the New South Wales Cup. He just gets over the stripe just for fun, really. Chevy Stewart, I found, played well as well. I didn't watch it, but that's what all the stats tell me, that Chevy Stewart played a very good game. So there you go, if you're wondering. 7 tackle breaks, Chevy Stewart, once again. How you going, mate? Bright spark in the New South Wales Cup side. Chevy Stewart, Michael Asuma, of course. Now the ladder in the New South Wales Cup, we sit at 8th. Still without a win in the competition. Fantastic, I know. So let's move on, shall we? And let's go around the NRL and let's address it. Daly Cherry Evans will leave the Manly Sea Eagles after this year. Now, the story goes, this is my understanding. This is what I've found has happened. So he goes to the coaches, he goes to the players, he announces, I am not returning to Manly next year. Obviously, his contract up at the end of the year. He says, I'm not coming back. He then gets offered a 2-year contract, which is what he was after in the first place. He gets offered a 2-year contract. He then says, no, I'm not going on 100% footy. I haven't watched it yet. I'm chomping at the bit to watch 100% footy now, just so I can see all this stuff, because this is just what I've seen on Instagram and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. I haven't seen the quotes or anything. I've seen the quotes, but I haven't heard him say it. So he's pretty much said, no, I've slept on it since December. I'm not going back to Manly. Wow. So he's declined the 2-year deal, which is what he reportedly wanted the whole time. He's gone. He's off. He's leaving Manly. And you'd think that they were the team that lost over the weekend by the way that they're hanging their heads around social media. Like you see any Manly fan, like if you watch the Hello Sport podcast, I haven't seen the episode yet either. But they sitting in the studio, they're all down and in the dumps because Daly Cherry Evans is leaving. I'm pretty sure he's captain of the Sea Eagles as well. You'd be surprised if he wasn't, right? But there you go. Seems like after the weekend, both Manly and the Raiders seem to have lost. And I feel like our spirits are a lot higher than Manly fans at the moment, which is weird for me to say. Now, to top off this short-ish episode of the Milkman podcast, Lynx Africa is safe. If you remember, last episode we talked about Lynx Africa being discontinued. They pulled the rug out from underneath me. It was fake the whole time. Christmas is saved, and that's what I was complaining about, that I wouldn't, what am I meant to get for Christmas now? The quote is, and I quote, no, it wasn't an April Fool's joke. Who would think it's a good idea to make an April Fool's joke in March? Sorry to all the panicked nans who nearly had a meltdown after yesterday's announcement. Don't worry, your go-to Christmas gift is safe. To anyone who stockpiled Lynx Africa cans, yeah, they're not increasing in value anytime soon, which is bad news for me because I've got more than I cared to admit. Like, I've got so many. We simply just decided to change the design of the can. I should have made that more clear in the previous post. Anyway, Lynx Africa is here to stay. Same fragrance you all got so nostalgic about, just in a new can. Lynx admin. Now, I have since found out that they are poking fun at Lipton for getting rid of the peach flavour. That's what I think has happened, or they're taking it from Lynx, or I don't know what's going on. I really don't. All that I know is Lynx Africa is staying on the shelves. Great news. Great news, because now I've got my gift sorted. I can get this for somebody or multiple people. People can get this for me, which is good because I always need soap. Perfect. We're all good. We are all good here in the Milkman podcast sphere, or at least I am. Now, before I head off, let's talk some flog positivity. If you don't remember and you didn't see the last episode, I think it was, every time Corey Parker says something positive about the Canberra Raiders, I'll report back right here on this segment, on this podcast. Flog positivity is what I've called the segment. He has not said anything. Nothing. And fair enough, because we did lose, and I just thought I'd check in, make sure you knew. This will be a every episode thing now. Flog positivity. He hasn't said anything. You're not missing anything. Obviously, probably should only do it after a win. We'll change that. Every time the Raiders win, we'll check in with flog positivity. If you do see anything Corey Parker says and I've missed it, or whatever the case may be, please tag me in it on Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be, at Milkman Podcast. Please. I need to see it so I can report back here. You will get a shout out if so. And I think that'll do it. I think we've covered everything here today, and it's a bit of a shorter episode. So if you look forward to these, I don't know why you would. I apologize for keeping this one so short, but it's late. I've had a few things to do during the day, so this is the chance I got to do it. So apologies there, but I'll check out now. Thank you very much for watching today's episode of the Milkman Podcast. Make sure you're following at Milkman Podcast on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated with all things Canberra Raiders. Take us on the go with Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or if you're listening there and you want some visual, there's YouTube as well, The Milkman, I think it's called. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and as always, up the milk.